He's gonna expose us. Grab that lantern while I take care of him. Last time on Lost Legends of Scadrial.
We just robbed a bank.
I wouldn't go around saying that too loudly.
I mean, it wasn't a bank here.
There's been this group of people who've been going around and charging protection money to the businesses around. My sister's a cop. If you don't do this, then I'm going to turn you in.
What did these thugs look like?
Well, they were both wearing hoods, and I think one of them had a bearded, but they were both clean-shaven. Their clothes were also, they weren't quite in style here. One of them was wearing an overly large hat from another one of the cities or something, but it's not something that you would have seen around a window. One was about your height. The other one was a little bit shorter.
Here, it's the mob? Y'all think it's the mob. That's big. Mobs are big. That's kind of the point of a mob. It's big. It's not just a gang, it's a mob. It's like a big gang. It's like a super gang. That's what mobs are.
Sandinine got a hold of me, and she said that you were talking about super gangs, and we were saying something about not being able to handle it by yourself, so I brought my sister. This is Dahlia. Well, hopefully with my presence here, they'll be a little more interested in being talkative, and you'll be a little less interested in frightening the good people of this city. Hello, and welcome back to the Lost Legends of Scadrial Mistborn Adventure Game Podcast. I'm your host and narrator, Trevor. You can find me online at 5th of Daybreak, and with me I have the rest of the Lost Legends.
Hi, I'm Lena. I play Beladora Wilde.
I'm Zach, and I play Finnigan.
Hi, I'm Carl, and I play Pinch.
Everybody was leaving the very shady motel that they had stayed at after Constable Dahlia had come back, or had come and introduced herself to them. Were we doing the informant, or we were checking out more of the shops?
What would you suggest we do, Constable Dalthacia?
Well, we've done a lot of legwork already. I think that if we at least go and see one more, then that will probably be a little more fruitful.
I'm with the lady constable.
Of course you are, sweetheart.
I'd have to agree with the constable as well. Doesn't seem like we've gotten quite enough information to really have a go at it yet.
Well, why not?
All right, well, let's get going. And the one place that you had left was a clothier shop. It was run by and Dahlia kind of tells you this as you're walking along, run by the man by the name of Bellin Sundler. He has been kind of ranting and raving about these people, and how he doesn't want to give in to their demands and how ludicrous it is in this day and age. And as you get a little bit closer to the marketplace, everybody give me a wits roll.
What is my wits?
I believe everybody is 4.
Wow, we're so smart.
Oh man, Pinch is the smartest of the Lost Legends.
God help us.
We're screwed.
All of them. All of them.
Really? Everybody?
Everybody.
I'm deceptively smart.
Amazing.
Who needs smarts when I roll a pair of 5s?
I rolled 2 3s.
Oh, okay, I got 4 4s.
Okay, so everybody, as you're getting closer and talking to Dahlia, Finnigan, you notice at first just a kind of faint smell on the air. The smell of like char and smoke and, just burning wood. And then, Beladora notices next a small trail of smoke up in the sky, and then Pinch is the last to notice it. Whereas Constable Dahlia is lost in thought and is just talking the whole way and doesn't notice anything at all.
Constable, is that a fire?
Hey, sweetheart, you wanna look up a little bit?
Look up. What are you talking about?
I believe we've got a fire on our hands, Constable.
Oh my gosh, I think there might be a fire.
You don't say.
That's right in the direction we're heading. We should hurry.
Should we make like a siren sound or something for like fire trucks or whatever it is? I don't know what the...
What's a siren? What's a fire
I have
truck?
no idea what the alloy era...
Are equipped to deal with this than we are, but I mean, who am I and what do I know? But I mean, we can also still run over there. I am curious. I want to see what's going on.
Dahlia starts running.
All right, I'm going after her.
Roll me a physique roll.
Yes!
Oh, that's not good.
This is my strong suit.
I got exactly nothing. But I am wearing a corset.
5s.
I got a pair of 2s.
Okay, so
pair of
Pinch
5s.
just, decides, yes, I want to see this. I am so curious. And Pinch is off. Leaps and bounds ahead of the rest of the group. Finnigan, realizing he's lagging a little bit behind, just starts to head up and take off after him, burning up the dust. And then Beladora and Dahlia both, they're trying to run, but, every once in a while, there's, a dip in the road that they have to avoid. And, before long, they are just lagging so far behind everybody and out of breath. And they both kind of, well, at least Dahlia shoots, a sympathetic and, this is awful. Why did we do this? Look towards Beladora.
Beladora is trying in quotation marks.
I am basically racing Finn.
So Pinch, you get there first, and you come up and you notice that there's a sign for a clothier shop, and it is the shop that's on fire. It's not directly next to any of the shops beside it, but it is dangerously close that there's a possibility that the fire will spread. Finnigan, as soon as you get up there next to them, a man bursts out of the front of the shop in a cloud of smoke. All of his clothes are very charred, and he's just coughing in a fit and kind of collapses to the ground a few feet in front of the building.
Finnegan's gonna go up to him and if there's anyone else in the building.
They left out the back after they beat me and set my shop on fire.
Any idea where these deviants went, sir?
No.
He said they went out the back. Let's go. Let's go. There's going to be people coming. He'll be fine. Let's go.
Which direction specifically are you going?
Oh, that's probably a good idea. Yeah. So which direction after they went out the back did they go, sir?
I mean, are you going to run around between the buildings? Are you going to run straight through the burning building?
That's a good question. I think I'll take the shortcut.
Wits roll for it. Wits roll for it.
Am I doing that?
All right. At this point, when Pinch looks like he's about to just take off, is when I imagine since Dahlia is actually trying, she gets there just a little bit ahead of Beladora. Which kudos to Beladora for keeping up with the constable without actually trying while in a corset.
In quotation marks.
I rolled really stupid on that wits roll, so I'm going to run through the building.
Right. Pinch starts taking off towards the burning building.
Finnegan's gonna stop him.
It's a shortcut!
Through a burning building, lad. We can go around it just as easily.
You have no sense of adventure. I can do this. I've been in burning buildings before. This is fine. This is nothing. It's a small building. It's a good fire, but it's a small building.
We've also been in exploding cars. That doesn't mean I want to do it.
Well, that sounds like a you problem.
But it does mean that we've survived that sort of thing before.
See, Bella thinks I can run through a burning building.
Let's just go around the rusting building, please.
I have a question. How on fire is this building on a scale of 1 to 10?
It has been burning for probably 10 minutes, and it was intentionally set on fire. So I would say it's at about a 3 right now, rapidly growing to 4.
I riot Pinch's sense of badassness.
Hell yes!
Oh man, the book doesn't handle this.
I'm gonna bat Finnegan's hands away, like just bat them away, and I'm gonna take off straight through the building.
Okay, two physique, let's do this.
Finnegan's gonna follow after him to make sure he doesn't hurt himself.
Bella's gonna go
Finn,
around the
sorry.
back.
Bella's the smart one.
Pinch,
She's trying to
give
get
a
me
physique roll,
killed.
first of all.
That's
Oh,
2
no.
3s.
Holy. Oh my god.
Okay. Dahlia grabs you by the shoulder, but since you matched her roll, you start pulling her into the building with you. And she's like holding
Let
on to your
go!
shoulders like, wait, no, don't. This is such a bad idea. We need to put the fire out, not go in it.
I am not the fire brigade. I am the person trying to catch, I guess, the mob or something. So let go. I'm going, and I'm going to bat her hands away too.
Give me another physique roll.
Okie dokie. This is just like testing my luck at this point.
And add an extra dice for your personality being the worst.
Yeah, I get to use it! 2 4s and a nudge.
You beat her 2 3s and a nudge. So you bat her hands away, and you are now free to run into the burning building. I have the best players.
So tell me about the inside of this building that I just ran into blindly.
Well, Finnegan, what were you going to do?
Finnegan is going to kind of give a defeated sigh and follow him in to make sure that he doesn't kill himself.
Okay, as soon as everybody that's going in, give me another physique
Do I
roll.
get to be the worst again?
No, that doesn't work against fire.
Rust.
That's 5s and 3 nudges.
That was not good on my part. That was a 5 and a 1. I got nothing.
Okay, I'd make that like probably a difficulty 2 right now. So what I'm going to say is that as soon as you get in, a burning like timber was coming down, and it was going to come straight for Pinch's head. And Finnegan reaches forward and pulls you back. And what kind of clothing does Finnegan wear?
He's got like a button-up collared shirt with some with suspenders and sleeves rolled up and a little bit loose for when he gets stronger. And he's wearing a newsy cap.
Okay, does he keep his vest on underneath his button-up shirt then?
Yes.
Okay, so he doesn't really have a coat to put around you. Because of those 3 nudges, I'm going to say that Pinch doesn't get any damage from this. So he reaches forward, kind of pulls you back, and then we'll just say that he like kind of picks you up and like tucks you under an arm, and that kind of protects you from this overbearing heat.
Like a sack of potatoes.
So you're looking around this shop. It's a 1-story building with kind of a high peaked roof. And the clothes that are all over the store, whether they're hanging from hanging from racks on hangers or sitting on a shelf, everything is on fire and just spewing ash into the air. And since the building does have such a high ceiling, the smoke hasn't clogged it too much. But standing at Finnegan's height is definitely a point where you're not breathing well. There's a lot of smoke in the air.
Could, 2 things. 1, can I see the exit?
Both of you give me a wits roll.
Three ones.
Pinch sees the exit.
2, could I use a spirit roll to find a miraculously unburning coat to cover Pinch with for safety?
Sure. Give me a spirit roll. Add 1 for your 3 nudges.
That is 3s and a nudge.
All right, that's enough. You find a nice duster that you just kind of whip off of a shelf, and it's not really too hot yet, and you just put it over Pinch's shoulders and put Pinch back on the ground.
Thank you. That's nice. This is real nice. This is good. This is fancy.
And we're going to pause there, and we're going to jump outside to Beladora and Dahlia.
You guys are doing great in there. Keep it up. As I fan myself. It's a little bit toasty.
Dahlia is going to start getting buckets from the well because townspeople have started to show up with a bunch of containers, and there's a wagon coming down the street. And so she's going to pick up a bucket and start trying to extinguish the fire.
Okay, I will help in quotation marks, but mostly I'm just riding the emotions of the people around me to have a sense of urgency.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect.
Ooh.
So my rating is 5. That means that I use 5 dice, right?
Yeah, and then I'll let you add one more for being a skillful manipulator.
Awesome. Okay, that was a whole lot of nothing and 2 nudges.
All right, you can spend those 2 nudges to re-roll the rest of them.
Okay, awesome. Okay, that was 2 2s.
Okay, I'm going to add 1 extra die to Dahlia's roll, which didn't help. And then let's just do a bunch of weak people, who will all also get 1 extra die. Okay, so Dahlia and a couple other people are really, going very slowly. Obviously, they don't have the bulk to carry these large buckets of water. But there's one guy there, you don't know if he's a pewter arm or if he's possibly a pewter fairing, but he is just hauling it, and he's getting 3 to 4 buckets on the building in the time that everybody else is getting 1.
I wink at him to give him just a little bit more, some more motivation.
Okay. Are you still going to try and go around the back of the building, or are you kind of sticking with the brigade as moral support?
I think I'll stick with the building for right now.
Okay, and let me do some die rolling here. Alright, let's jump back inside. Pinch, you see the exit.
We're going straight. Straight! Gotta go straight. And I'm gonna take off running.
Okay, give me a physique roll plus 1 for the coat.
Oh, it's a special coat.
Yeah, I think just for the coat.
That's a pair of 5s.
Alright, you just kind of dart forward, and you do a slide underneath a rack of burning clothes, and then manage to jump over a shelf, and you get there in no time at all, and the heat is just barreling into this coat, but you've got it tucked up tight, and you get in there no problem. Finnigan, give me a physique roll for yourself as well.
I'd like to use charges to add die.
Yep, and I'll also give you 1 more for stronger than he looks.
So is that 5 charges?
We're at 7 already. So if you want to go above 10 die, that gives you an automatic nudge for every single number above 10 that you go.
Oh, so it's 1 charge per dice.
10 charges per die.
10 charges per dice. Okay. I'm just gonna get myself to 8.
Okay.
And if for some reason I can't see the door, so if I have to burst through the wall, I will.
Well, and you saw a fairly good which direction Pinch was going. It's just not as open to you as it was to Pinch.
Gotcha.
Parkour.
That's 4 4s and 2 nudges.
Parkour.
All right. So what you do is you grab another duster off the shelf next to you, the one that hadn't been lit on fire, and you kind of drape it over the front of yourself, and you just start charging through. You bust the first rack of clothing out of the way. You give a nice kick to that shelving unit and send it into another into another shelf, and it tips them both over, and it kind of dumps some of the unburnt clothing on top of the burning clothing and helps extinguish that a little bit. And you make a nice open path to the back door, and you both are there at the back.
Kick this thing open!
I kick that thing open.
All right, give me another physique roll.
That's 3s.
All right, you give the door a nice solid kick, and it comes off of its hinges and falls forward. And you notice that there was, as you're going by, that there was a large nail sticking out of the wall on the other side of it that kind of got knocked loose. And stuck to that nail is a fake beard that you've now kicked out of the fire that was about to be consumed, laying on the ground.
I snatched that up.
What Pinch said.
But otherwise, as you're looking around in the back, you really aren't seeing anybody or any clear tracks going in one particular direction or another.
Do I see any signs of anything that might be askew, like something that might have been like knocked down in the process of them trying to escape?
Give me a wits roll.
Can I assist him?
Sure.
Is that also an assist roll? For me?
Yeah, make it another wits roll.
That's 3 4s. And 2
I've got
edges.
4s.
All right, so you both notice in one of the alleys there is a discarded coat that is mostly charred, but the fire's gone out. And it's a very distinctive looking coat. It's not something that you really notice around this area. Like it looks outlandish.
Oh, that's the weird clothes. The weird clothes. The guy was talking about the weird clothes. Or maybe it was the girl. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention. But one of them said weird clothes, and that's a weird clothes thing. It's a thing. It's weird.
As you guys get closer and you pick up this coat and you start going through it, inside of one of the pockets, you notice a vial of copper.
Oh, it's copper, right? This is copper, right? I don't do the fancy metal magics, but like this is copper, right?
I'm not sure. I believe it is. It's the right color.
All right, let's jump back to Beladora and Dahlia. Are you continuing on with the rioting, or what is it that you want to be doing now?
How does it look like they're doing with the fire putting out situation?
Let me check.
10 dice rolls later.
They are keeping the fire at bay, but it doesn't look like they're really making any progress.
Okay, I will slowly edge away from this entire situation with just a couple of, "You're doing great, sweetheart. Keep it up." And I'm gonna head toward the alley.
And just to put this out there, there is still the guy on the ground that came running out of the shop.
Oh yeah, how does he look? Because he said that he got beaten up by the folks who set the fire, right?
Yeah, he managed to sit up, so he's not just lying on the ground anymore, but his face looks pretty bruised, and he can't seem to stop coughing.
Okay. I'm going to go over to him and see if I can sort of discern, like, he's not putting on a front or anything like that. He is actually pretty beat up and all of that, right?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
pretty obvious that he, like, especially since from his dress, he definitely looks like somebody who would own a clothing shop.
All right. Yeah, maybe I'll make a side stop at him and just ask him if he saw anything else other than just they set a fire and run out of the building, like what happened prior to that.
Well, they were trying to convince me to pay them, these dastardly fiends, and I'm a leecher, and I don't normally see fit to use my powers, but I felt this strong fear come over me, and so I took the little bit of chromium that I had, and when I touched them, the fear completely disappeared. But that's when they got violent with me. Both of them seemed to be wearing fake beards, and when I took one off of it, I saw that he had a scar going down across his chin, and he had kind of a pointed nose and hawk eyes. And Dahlia comes over at that point with one of the buckets of water, and she hands it over to him, and he takes a nice long drink. And Dahlia looks over at you, and she says, I think that he might be talking about my other brother, Tugs. He's definitely a copper cloud, and he's got a problem with addiction. He's been on the wrong side of the law for a long time, and I've never been able to convince him to come back. And he's got a scar just like that and the same nose.
Well, that certainly sounds like it might make family reunions awkward.
He definitely doesn't like to see me very often.
I can't imagine why. Well, do you know where he's usually found or who he associates with?
I do happen to know where one of his hideouts is, and it's actually not too far from here.
Well, that sounds like it might be a good starting place.
Do you think they're okay? They haven't come out of the building yet.
I'm sure they're fine.
Concerning that she isn't more concerned for us.
She can always recruit more people for the cause.
Exactly.
Beladora wants me dead.
Alright, Pinch and Finn, what would you be doing around this time?
I'd say if we can't find anything else in the alley, we'd probably go back out front.
Alright, so right when you say they'll probably be fine, in perfect dramatic fashion, they come walking around the side of the building with their coats over their heads to protect them from the heat.
So we found some interesting things in the alley.
Oh?
Well, we found a fake beard, a weird coat, and a vial of copper for an allomancer.
Well, I also found out exactly who has been doing this.
So you're telling me we didn't have to go into a burning building to find out who this was?
Yeah, pretty much.
I told you that was a bad idea.
It's super heroic.
Lad, you're going to be the rust and death of me.
I swing my duster over my shoulder so I can pose with it.
Bellin looks from the dusters to you two, to his shop, and then back to the dusters. And then he just kind of frowns.
I'm actually going to check out the duster I got from the shop. Looks to the shopkeeper. You don't mind if I take this, do you?
I guess insurance will cover all this anyway.
That is the right answer.
Then I'm going to look to the constable. You don't mind if I take this, do you?
Dahlia looks at the burning building, looks at Bellin, looks at you, and then she shrugs.
Finnigan happily puts the coat on.
I mean, it would have just burned if you hadn't gone in there, so I guess we shouldn't make this all worth nothing.
It's my payment for saving the lad.
It's the fruits of our labor.
Both of you add a well-roasted prop, or well-roasted coat to your props, and I won't make that one count against your resources. You can keep that fire coat forever. Achievement unlocked. Off the rails.
You said well-roasted coat?
Well-roasted coat. Or duster.
Done.
And by this time, the wagon with the fire brigade pulls up, and they start getting a whole bunch more buckets, and they form a chain gang line and just start dumping water on the building. And the fire starts to subside, and everything kind of starts to calm down a little bit.
So, should we head to your brother's hideout?
I think that's not a bad idea.
Oh yeah, it's her
Wait.
brother, by the way.
I was about to ask. That's
Not
Oh.
Dale, but another brother.
Oh!
How big's your family?
Well, one more than we thought it would be.
So,
Well, I don't
twins?
know anything about that. Let's go.
What were you going to say, Zach?
I said so, twins?
Oh, no, nothing like that. Just, a happy accident, I guess.
Oh, I'm sure it's real happy now.
All right, you guys head off in the direction with Dolly in the lead, which means you're going a little bit slower, since obviously her physique will never roll well. But you pull up to a older building, kind of decrepit, single story. And as you get to the front of it, Dahlia kind of puts a finger to her lips and then sneaks up to the front door. Well, let's see how well she sneaks. Her physique will never roll well, so she tries to sneak up.
Do you want me to do that? Oh, wait, no, don't make me do it. Finn, you do it.
Yes, in fact, I do want you to try to do that.
I mean, I'll certainly try.
Can't roll 5s all night.
Bad. Terrible. Nothing at all.
You and Dahlia both try and go at the same time. Like, where she turns, she puts a finger to her lips, she starts taking a step forward, and Pinch starts taking a step forward, and they both run into each other and fall down to their, fall downs on their backs.
Oh no, Constable! I've fallen on you. Oh no, we're all tangled up. Oh, Constable! I'm so sorry. I can't seem to get myself back up.
I imagine it's right around this time that you just hear a slap.
Ow!
And a very red-faced Dahlia gets back to her feet and starts walking towards the door.
That felt a little uncalled for.
Knowing you, lad, that was completely called for.
I'm sorry, it's not a one-story building. It's a two-story building. His hideaway is above a soother parlor. I can read.
I cannot.
Well, I feel like stealth has gone out the window, so I'm just gonna go up to the door.
Y'all are pretty. You should go. Dolphacia, you should probably stay back here, though, because, like, you look like a constable. Come stand with me. Come stand with me. It'll be nice. We can keep each other company. Come here.
Well, I think that it's best if we have the presence of the law here if we're going to take them down.
You sure you won't just spook them?
If we can just get in there and block any exits, then I think that it won't matter.
Well, do you know where the exits are? Because I feel like blocking them would be something that we do first, like before we even go in. But I mean, what do I know? I'm just.
Well, let's find the stairs, and I think
Okay,
once
yeah,
we find the stairs, we'll be fine.
Whatever
You know what?
say.
You know what? For once, I agree with Pinch. Is this the only door out?
There are windows on the ground floor and on the second floor. Odds there is a second, or there's a back door. Evens there isn't. Odds there is a back door.
Finnegan's gonna go around the back. Because if there's one thing he's good at, it's blocking things.
Everybody else going in through the front?
Sounds good to me.
I'll go back up, Finn. I'll go with him. He agreed with me.
All right. You two head around the back, leaving the power couple of Dahlia and Beladora in front. And as you get a little closer, Dahlia's forehead just furrows just a little bit, and she says, because of the soother parlor, I can't really tell if there's any other allomantic pulses. There's just too many allomancers nearby.
Are you a seeker, Dahlia?
Yeah, allomancy runs in the family. Dale got the short end of that stick.
Poor Dale.
Yeah, but at least we're nothing too flashy. A copper cloud and a seeker.
Well, shall we continue in?
Yep, and she opens the door, and she steps through. The main area of the parlor, there's like a hostess up front, and then there's a whole bunch of secluded, isolated private rooms, and so there's not really anybody in the area other than the one employee on working at the desk to really stop you. And Dahlia just flashes a badge at her as she walks by, as the hostess starts to stand up and sits her back down. And she's been in here before, so she starts heading for the stairs.
All right, I'm gonna follow suit.
Pinch and Finn, you open up the back door and you come into a small room where you see a bunch of small windows. And there are 7 or 8 people, each sitting in front of one of those windows. And there's another door at the far end of the room.
Well, howdy, boys.
Are we missing a party or something?
One of the people is going to turn to you and just, shh, I'm concentrating.
Oh, I didn't know this was a concentration thing.
Shh.
I thought that stuff just came naturally. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Shh.
Jeez.
It's like we're in a library.
Shh.
Ashes. Where are we going?
Shh.
Where are we going?
I'm gonna quietly bar the door. Escape.
What are you going to use to bar the door with?
I'd like to potentially break the doorknob in such a way that the door can't be opened, except by supernatural strength.
Okay, burn 2 charges, and I'll let you do that.
Hey,
Not 2, but 20.
Should I go ahead?
Sorry, I'm just absolutely tickled at the idea that these folks standing around are just like sitting there watching this happen.
Well, most of them are like staring through the windows trying to focus on the clientele. You've stumbled into the soother room.
I prefer the rioters.
Are there any stairs in the soother room?
No, there's just the one door at the far end of the hall.
I'm going to kind of slip a note on the doorknob that says I owe you. And then I'm going to walk to the other door.
I'm going to follow behind him because he's bigger and stronger than me, and he makes a good shield. So I'll be behind him.
And I imagine, like, when you break the doorknob off, the same guy who had been shushing you all that time just makes a very loud and then turns back to focus on the guy in the room. You guys walk out the door in the back. As you come out the other side and close it behind you, you notice that it's been disguised as a bookcase. So that way it looks like there's no other exits to that main room. And you see Dahlia across on the other side of the room, about to head up with a staircase with Beladora right behind her.
Oh, that worked out well.
Hey! I'm waving to her.
Shh!
How's everyone shushing me?
It's a soothing parlor.
This place is boring.
I assume there will be more excitement upstairs. Let's go.
All right, as you guys get near the top of the stairs, you hear the sounds of heated voices from inside behind the other side of the door. And every once in a while, you'll catch just a small glimpse of, "This was never the plan, and we had to do what we had to do, and no one was supposed to get hurt." And just back and forth, and the sound of these guys are both very, very angry.
Well, they certainly aren't being quiet.
I told you this wasn't the mob.
I think one of them is my brother.
He's a baby criminal.
Well, what do you want us to do, Constable? It's your call.
Well, I think that we've got a couple of options here. We can try and sneak in while they're still arguing and see if we can't incapacitate them in some way. We can just call them out peacefully and see if they're willing to surrender. Or if you've got any other ideas, I'm definitely willing to hear them.
Well, considering the poor excuse for sneaking earlier, I don't think that option's going to work.
Bella, can't you do something?
I bring out my shotgun.
Ah, that's more our style, Constable.
Oh, that's,
Oh my, where were you hiding that?
Oh, I wink at her.
I sure would like to know.
I think in this case it's fair to say a lady never reveals her secrets. And then I'm going to kick the door open.
And I follow up with the shotgun.
Okay, we're just doing this then. That's fine.
All right, burn another, or are you going to roll for this, or do you want to burn enough charges to make it happen?
I'm going to roll for it.
All right, I'll set the difficulty at 3 again.
I'm going to slam on their shock and fear as he does that.
Oh, that's 4 5s, my friend.
Oh!
Any nudges?
Whoa!
No nudges.
All right, you kick this door, and it goes flying through the room. Bella, give me your rioting roll.
Alrighty. Okay, that was 2 4s.
Gilvin gets it on the reroll with 2 5s. Let's see how Tugs does. Yeah, Tugs was more reluctant anyway. So as you come in, Tugs just kind of gives this really big yelp. Tugs is Dahlia's brother, by the way, if I haven't said that yet. Whereas Gilvin is going to reach behind him and he is going to grab his Immerling 44 revolver. Let's go into combat. This will be the first time this group's done combat. Combat's a little bit weird. We go in order of wits to declare what our action is, and your action determines how big your dice pool is. And then after everybody's declared what their actions are, the person with the biggest dice pool goes first. Okay, so it looks like wits of 4 for Gilvin, wits of 4 for Tugs. Dahlia, also a 4. So ties go to in your guys' favor. So Gilvin is going to take a shot at the constable in the group. Tugs has been thrown off balance by Belladora's rioting, so he's not going to do anything this round. Dahlia is going to jump to the side into the room and try and get behind some cover while avoiding his shot. And then you, Bella and Finnigan, you guys can decide who wants to declare first.
Wait, is it by order of so it's by order of lower wits first?
Yep, but you guys are everybody's tied except Pinch. So when it's a tie among teammates, you guys get to decide who declares first.
I guess I'll go. What I'd like to do is I'd like to take the door I just kicked, I'm assuming off its hinges.
Oh, definitely.
And throw it at the person who drew the revolver.
Oh, awesome.
Nice!
Are you burning any charges when you do this?
Yes, I am.
How many do you want to burn?
I'd like to burn, I'll burn 3. 30.
And Bella, what are you doing?
I'm just gonna slam on the guy who grabbed the revolver on his fear again, see if that throws him off at all.
Okay. And then finally, Pinch.
I'm gonna take my super cool duster that I just got, and I'm gonna throw it at, who was his name, Tugs? I'm gonna throw it at Tugs and hopefully get it over his head. I just want him to be sheeted.
Okay. Pinch, I'm going to give you +1 to your physique roll for being a professional disaster. Finn, let me check yours. I'll give you 1 for dock workers, because I imagine they throw a lot of big stuff around.
Cool.
Bella, take 2. 1 for your beguiling smile, or no, that wouldn't really work, only if you're charming him. So 1 for your skillful manipulator. So that'll be 6. I think Finn's at 10. Pinch is at 3. Dahlia is at 4. Gilvin is at 4. And Tugs doesn't get any dice. So Finn, you go first.
As he's throwing the door, he's gonna say, "You know, you really shouldn't point guns at ladies. It's not polite." And I'm gonna use 7 dice for that.
Okay. Yeah, and any dice that you don't use to do your attack, you can use on defense, but you don't have to do it for defense this time since they're not going to be attacking you. They're just going after Dahlia.
Oh, that's right. Okay, all 10
and
dice.
He's not going to defend with anything.
That is 4s and a nudge.
All right, I'm going to say that's just 1 damage for the door, an extra damage for the nudge, and then I'm also going to subtract a die from his attack because he just got hit by a door, and that's very distracting. I mean, I've never had it happen to me, but I've seen that episode of Phineas and Ferb, and it didn't look like it was fun.
Oh, Perry the platypus! Yes, you throw a door at me.
Bella, I think you are next with 6 dice.
Okay.
All right, that was 2 5s and a nudge.
Okay, he's going to lose another die, and he's going to be at a -1 outcome for his attack. 1 die for the success, and 1 die for the nudge. And that would put his pool below 2, so he gets a -1 outcome.
Nice.
Next, I think we have Dahlia, who is going to... hers is mostly defense, so she's not actually doing anything but jumping behind cover. And then we go to Pinch.
Right now? I go?
Yep, 3 dice.
Okay. It's not good. I didn't get anything.
Alright, you go to throw this coat, and it just kind of like comes forward, but misses him and lands on the floor next to him.
Cool, I hit the ground.
Gilvin is going to make his attack and get nothing. I'll roll for Dahlia anyway. And her physique is still awful. So despite her best attempt to get in the way of the bullet, he still misses. And let's go back to the top of the round. Tugs is going to start running for the window. Dahlia is going to pull out her pistol and fire back at Gilvin. And Finn, you declare next.
I'm going to go up to Gilvin and see if I can't dismantle his gun through pure strength, like squeeze the barrel enough that it no longer shoots, or it'll basically backfire on him.
Okay, I'm going to say that that's going to take a successful roll, and it's going to burn 5 charges.
Okay.
But those charges aren't going to give you extra dice.
Gotcha.
Bella.
I'm going to riot Finn's sense of badassness.
Pinch.
I see Tugs going for the window, and I kind of pop back up on my feet, and I run to go and try and latch onto his waist.
And remember, you don't always have to do anything physical if you want. You can still try and bring other things into battles like this, like if you wanted to try and talk him down, or try and like figure out a way to get in front of him and block his path. I'm not quite sure how you could figure out a wits roll for this, but there are ways to try and game the system where you're not exactly doing what the obvious thing, but trying to find a circuitous way to get more dice.
I try to cleverly latch onto him.
I don't think that'll work. Okay, so you're gonna have we're gonna give you we're gonna give you another +1 for being a professional disaster. So that'll be 3 dice. Bella, go ahead and add another one for beguiling smile, but I'm not gonna give you the manipulator this time. So that'll be 6 dice.
Right.
Finn, you also have 6 dice. Dahlia has 4, and Gilvin has 4. Finn, you're going to go after Bella because that just makes sense in the context, and with you guys tied, you get to choose. So, Bella, give me your rioting roll.
All right. Okay, that was 2 3s and 3 nudges.
All right, everybody in the party gets to add an extra die to their next roll. Everybody feels badass.
Ooh.
Nice.
So, Finn, give me a roll of 7.
And Finn's gonna be kind of like not believing he has to repeat himself. Did you not rest and hear me? It is not polite
he's pointing the gun at you now, not a lady.
I know, but he shot at her in the last round. Because he went after me, and so then he shot after I said it.
Gotcha, that makes sense.
Yep. So did you not rust and hear me? I said it is not polite to shoot at a woman.
I'm not going back to jail.
Oh, that's 2 4s, 2 nudges.
All right, yeah, you grab his gun, and you just kind of crumple it. and he looks down at it very shocked. That brings us to Dahlia, who's going to change her action. Instead, she's going to try and talk them down. She gains an extra die. When you change your action on your turn, you recalculate your dice pool based on what your action is, and then you cut it in half. So instead of getting 4 dice for her regular roll, she would have gotten 5 dice after Beladora. Instead, she's going to have 3. She would have just had 2 if it wasn't for that rioting extra. She's just like, it's time to surrender, and totally flubs her turn.
Poor Dahlia.
She did her
Pinch,
best.
give me a roll of 3. Or
Can
4.
I get the extra dice? Okay, cool. I have 2 1s.
And I'm going to give him defense dice. And he rolled nothing. So you, with your practice, the other day, jumping on Finn's, or not the other day, but a couple weeks ago, jumping on Finn's back with your rifle to get a good shot, you jump on his back and you put your rifle around the front of his neck and just kind of pull back, almost like it's bit and bridle. I think that's the right equipment name. But you just like pull it back, crush his throat a little bit, and he falls to the floor, not on top of you, but like collapses in the right way. You're able to twist him just right, and he goes down. Gilvin no longer has a gun to shoot with. So he is going to pull out his dueling cane and attack with his remaining 2 dice at a -1. He rolls nothing. So we'll start it again. Tugs is going to give up. Gilvin is going to take another swing with his dueling cane. Dahlia is going to brandish her gun and try and intimidate Gilvin into standing down. And then, Finn, you choose next.
So what I would like to do is I'd like to just kind of sucker punch him in the stomach and get him to his knees.
Okay.
Before he can attack with the dueling cane, just kind of give him a swift punch in the stomach, and kind of take the breath out of him.
Bella?
I'm going to try to talk. His name is Gilvin?
Gilvin.
I'm going to try to talk him down, and I'm just going to say, "Come on, darling, you see that this is a losing battle. Might as well just give it up now."
And then Pinch, what are you doing?
You said that Tugs gave up underneath me, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm probably just panting a little bit because I did have to do that whole thing. So I'm just like, jumping out a 2nd-story window. You are stupid. You are just really stupid. Sit down. He already sat down, but it doesn't matter.
Burning building is fine, but jumping out of a window? Insane.
I know, right?
I'm me, though.
I'm a professional disaster.
You're just a disaster.
Exactly. I got a certificate.
All right, dice pools. Finn, you've got the close quarters combat, so that'll give you an extra die, put you at 7. Bella, skillful manipulator, beguiling smile, I'll give you both of those, so add 2 to your charm, so that would be 8. Pinch, I don't think you really even need dice, because you're just taunting the guy that you just took down. Dahlia, she is going to get 5 dice. Gilvin is going to get 4 dice. And Tugs is doing nothing. So, Bella, you go first.
Okay, that was 3 5s.
And what was it that you said?
I told him that he should just give up because this is a losing fight.
Alright, I'm gonna have him roll spirit instead of doing regular, taking from his regular die pool. And he rolled nothing. So his face kind of slips for a second, as the mask breaks and he gets a little bit of distraught on his face before going right back to rage. He says, "No, they're not taking me back there." But he has some hesitation in his voice.
If you don't want to give up willingly, I'll have to make you instead. And you don't want that, lad. And then I punch him. And that is 2 3s and a nudge.
All right, he rolled 3 of his dice, and he got 2 4s. So you go to punch him, and he just kind of swings his dueling cane down, and it gives it just enough momentum to knock you off course to where you're not able to connect with him really well. And
Dang.
then we're going to go to Dahlia, who has 4 dice. And Dahlia cannot succeed on a physique roll. Okay.
What is her physique, out of curiosity?
It is a 3.
Oh, okay. So Pinch is worse, but rolling better.
Yeah.
It's because I'm a professional disaster.
Did you have any defense dice you were going to roll, Zach?
No.
Okay, he rolled 1s with his remaining 2 dice, so he is going to do 2 damage to you.
Hey, guess what?
Oh, just 1 damage? Do you have that stunt?
No. My bulletproof vest absorbs
your
2
body.
damage from physical attacks.
Oh, that's right. So he instead of swinging it, he goes to do a thrust attack, and he thrusts it at your stomach, and it connects with a hard plate and kind of slides off to the side.
I'll give him a smirk.
And I think on seeing that, that'll be enough to break his spirit. And he's going to throw down his dueling cane and put his hands up.
I'm still giving Tugs, like, so much of an earful in the background.
At that point, as he goes down, Finn's gonna do like the arm hold where he goes behind his back, holds his arms up, lifts him up, and directs him towards the constable.
All right, you guys kind of pull them both out and drag them out down the stairs and pull them out into the street. Dahlia kind of hangs back because she sees that you've got it in hand, and Pinch is still just giving Tugs the scathing lecture about being smart and making good decisions. And Dahlia looks at Beladora and she says, you guys have been kind of saying some things that let me put 2 and 2 together between the exploding cars and the way that my brother announced that you guys shouldn't talk about things in front of constables. But you've done some good work here today, and I know some of the rumors that are around there about that bank. So for the moment, the constables don't need to know anything about you guys being in the city, and I'm willing to overlook that because obviously you guys have your hearts in the right place if you're willing to do this for no reward whatsoever. So if you
hold that thought, Constable. Hold that thought for just a moment. Finnegan's gonna hand, because he just remembered that he left a door blocked. So he's gonna hand Dahlia the Gilvin, and then go make sure the door can open again. It'll still be broken.
You're gonna go break the door more to get it
I'm gonna
open?
go break. Exactly.
Okay. You go and do that, and Dahlia looks very frustrated that you interrupted her whole speech to go do that.
Well, I had to make sure those soothers could get out.
Never mind the other door through the main part of the... Okay, never mind.
Finn versus Doors is truly just like the matchup of this whole thing. First the car door, then the one that he kicked in.
Doors are wonderful tools if you don't use them for their intended purpose.
Doors. Throw them at people. So, Dahlia then explains that normally after this kind of thing, she would offer a job in the constabulary, but this doesn't seem like the sort of thing that either the crew would be interested in or that it would be wise for her to put her name out there and suggest you guys. But she does give you the opportunity of doing what's called a network, where you can associate yourself a little bit more closely with the constabulary, and then you get some perks from that. You can only have one network at a time, and it does take advancements to join a network. Give me just a second. I'm going to look up what the bonus for the constabulary is.
Is it us as a group joins the network, or like just Bella could join it?
Each character in a group can have one network that they're a part of.
Okay, I want nothing to do with that.
Alright, so the benefits are you gain access to crime scenes, police documents, and other confidential police information without facing resistance from constables. It doesn't apply in extraordinary circumstances or if you're trying to get highly classified information. Those require the appropriate influence rolls as normal.
Oh, gosh.
I, Lena, want this so bad. But Bella probably doesn't care that much.
Finn wants it, but his influence rolls are crap.
Well, that's the thing, is it for basic information and like accessing police scenes and stuff, it takes away the need to roll influence.
Oh, okay. That would be helpful.
It's only if you were like, I want to have your top secret information about the spy program on the governor.
Yeah, I don't need that. I just want information on the mob.
Okay, so what I'll offer is that instead of taking any advancements for this mission, instead you'll gain the network.
Yeah!
And if that's what you want to do, go ahead and add it into your traits. Otherwise, I am going to give out 3 blanket advancements to everybody for a mission well done.
Yay!
I've got the perfect crew name. The Well-Roasted Dusters.
That's perfect. I love it.
What do you guys think?
I love it. We're spicy.
Like meatballs.
The Well-Roasted Duster Meatballs.
Finn, your name's just gonna be Doorman eventually.
It's not Finn Bowman anymore. It's Finn Doorman.
I am the door thrower that flaps in the night.
Finn the Doorman Bowman. It's like a wrestling name.
Perfect. All right, I think that's where we're going to end it tonight. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, this cast is just so much fun. I'm really enjoying the second group as much fun as the first group is as well. I think that this is a nice change of pace. And while I can't wait to get back to them, I also can't wait to play more games here. So we hope you're enjoying exploring the world of Alloy of Law with us, and we hope you tune in 2 weeks for our next episode. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Mistborn and all related properties are owned by Brandon Sanderson and Dragonsteel Entertainment. The Mistborn adventure game, the Alloy of Law supplement, and the Masks of the Past supplement are owned by Crafty Games. Special thanks to Steve Argyle for letting us use his artwork for the logo, and to Boardroom Design for putting the logo together for us. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, and YouTube at LLOS Podcast, or join our Discord community. We hope that you'll give us a 5-star review on iTunes or whatever podcast provider you use. And make sure you tell a friend who loves Brandon Sanderson. Thanks for listening. Tune in next time. Every adventure.
Use them as shields.
If there's ever an adventure where you don't throw a door at someone, I'm killing Finn off.
Oh my god.
Okay, so we're never leaving a city ever.
Narrator intentionally writes missions without doors. No, I'm just kidding.